Last time on the Incorrigible Party.
The assault on the unfinished tower catches the party out in the open, with swarms of orcs battling the small handful of paladins that protect it. Diseased, fleshy orc bombs barrel towards our heroes as Mia goes down, and Ape Zarin does his best to get her out of danger.
Oh, what was that you wanted? More adventure? You got it.
I assume you're feeding it to her, Nan Falzern.
Yeah, I probably sort of break it in my big ape hand and spill it all over the place and get some of it into her mouth.
Okay, so Bill, I get 8d4 plus 8 healing.
Whoa, it's a big one. Okay, go ahead and roll that, Bill.
It's the superior.
Superior?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
I have exactly 8 d4s in total in my whole dice collection. 15, 16, 17. I rolled 17.
Plus 8.
Whatever that is.
25.
Whatever that is.
It's 25.
Okay. Well done, Falzern. Mia, you wake up spitting out glass and blood. Your lips are a little cut up from Ape Zarin mashing this health potion in your mouth. But you're up with 25 hit points, and you're like on over Falzern's, Ape Zarin's shoulder.
Is that an action to administer that?
Yes, that is going to be your action. Well, I mean, hey, that's pretty good. Okay. Mullen, out of sight. Nurtured one.
Can I move?
Of course. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to put... I mean, I will let you put Mia down, too, now that she's up. If
Don't put me down, you just got me up.
Bonk.
I'm gonna head back to battle where I picked her up, basically. So I'm gonna run back to the Tanaruk and the giant bat and all of those baddies over by. Yeah, I would set her down, to be clear, and then run.
Okay. You see the battle of with the tower with the paladins. It looks like you can hear Silas say, "Back to the tower, to the tower!" And they've moved within about 40 feet of you now. The iron defenders, the constructs with the slabs of stone they had with shields. Looks like all three of them are still up, basically forming this front line of the what's left of the orcs coming on them. Looks like there's 2 iron cobras still functioning, and other than the oaken bolters on the tower, that's it as far as the remaining forces. But the nurtured one continues. It's actually now they've kind of put themselves into a closer position to this nurtured one, as it basically is seeking the closest target to it now. Veers towards Silas. Even slowed. Can just get there, and it's like almost like it digs its own hands into this largest like pustule on its body that takes like it's like half of their body is riddled with these things, right? Like huge bloated masses, and it like pops itself. Almost looks like he's popping a zit, but it's like half of its torso, and he causes himself to explode over Silas and another paladin of Cultus.
Oh, he kills himself doing that.
Yeah, they literally
can't
pop.
see our reactions to what he said.
Yeah, like our faces right now. Oh my gosh.
Okay, and you just see like again like the ooze is splashing over them, and what looks like almost like a poison cloud, like green, like a cloud, kind of hangs heavy in the air before dissipating. Silas and the paladin are both just almost doubles them over as they're choking as they inhale what's been released from the orc. That is the last of those disease things, though, that you can see. Back to the top. There is one Red Fang left, incredibly hurt. Now has a giant ape on its back. Oh, and the darkness, though, is gone with Hulsa's shocking ray. It's going to turn on Ape Zarin with its scimitar. First slash is a 6. Wow.
That's
and then only an 11.
That is also a miss. Just barely.
Okay, Shaft.
Okay, so I'm gonna sort of go this Tarnak number 4 here. Is he pretty big that I could sort of climb over him and maybe get half cover?
They're medium-sized.
Okay. Well, I think I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna climb over top of him. I'm gonna pull out my longbow and try to pump a couple arrows into this giant bat that's flying about 40 feet above me. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and you actually have a carcass of one of the other bats at your feet, too, so you easily can get cover.
Okay.
I will never get over Shaft pumping a couple. You know what I'm saying?
So, longbow, 26. Has that bat been hit? It doesn't look like it.
No, has not.
Okay. So that one's just going to take 6 points of damage. And then I'm going to take my second shot.
Okay. Well, that bow sucks.
Comparatively, yeah. Good for hitting, still a 26, but that is now going to do 12 points of damage.
That is enough, though, to take down the bat.
Oh, nice.
2 clean hits. Right at the base of either one of its wings, right where the shoulder joint would be. And it smashes into the ground on top of the corpse of its rider. Do you want to move?
Now that the darkness is gone, I'm going to look over and see. Still have a Tarnak and a couple more bats behind me. So yeah, I am going to move about 25 feet, because I have little legs, directly to the west towards the giant bat number 1. And that's it for me.
Mia, awake.
Wow. Falzarin, what? Thank you, Ape Zarin. Thank you, Thor. And I will utter some words and cast Mass Cure Wounds. And I'm going to cast that at 5th level. I'm going to select 6 people within 60 feet. So I'm going to cast it and cure. Or the creatures I'm choosing to be affected are Shaft, Shakara, Falzarin, Ape Zarin, I mean, Silas, and then the guard next to Silas.
Okay.
Because everyone else is over 60 feet away.
Yep.
It's weird, guys. I'm healing. Oh my gosh. So I get to roll 3d4 plus 5, and 2 of them were 1s. So 11. 11. Oh, can I choose myself? Sorry. 1,
Yeah, of course.
2, 3, 4, 5, and then myself. So that's 6.
All right.
Healing 11 hit points for anyone I named.
Are you going to want to move anywhere as well, Mia? Your spiritual hammer is still around there somewhere. Although it takes your bonus action to use it, right?
That's fine. I don't have any other bonus actions.
No, but what what action is that spell? Mass Healing Word should be a bonus action, is it not?
It is? Oh, it is a bonus action. Frick.
So you have your main action.
I
Though.
didn't-
You could actually deal some
I
damage.
didn't know. You learn something new. The more you know. Okay, so I'm gonna move up and get this Tanorak 2 that put me down. And I would love... What spell slots do I have? 3rd level, let's go. I would love to put him down with some good old Inflict Wounds.
Okay.
So that's 15 to hit.
Inflict them wounds.
I'm gonna inflict them. I know it's necromancy and necrotic damage, but...
Oh, wow, you've come back from the brink of death, a changed woman, I think. Healing and dealing I don't know what's happening here, but the 15 is a hit.
15's a hit for 22
spell
damage.
if she did a spell for her bonus?
Oh, that's correct. I'm sorry. You cannot. Thank you, Emily. You can unfortunately, because you use your bonus action to cast a leveled spell, you can't do anything with your action as far as magic goes unless it's a cantrip.
Yeah, let's frickin' just grab the hammer and smack this Tanorak too. That's a 17 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing one-handed damage. 16. This is just a melee attack. 16 damage. Bludgeoning and Divine Strike.
Well, your combined damage, regardless of the types inflicted, are enough to put it down. Falling Star, just the weight of it slamming into this Tanorak's skull, right in its forehead, breaking its horns at the base of its brain, and it goes down.
Can I use a charge on my legendary action pendant? That means it doesn't cost an action, right?
you get the additional action in it. But what charge do you want to use?
I want to heal Shakara for the 10 hit points of healing hands that I have on it.
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
Okay,
Well, thank you
Shakara gets
kindly.
10 more hit points. You're welcome.
Doesn't get rid of your wrinkles.
Yeah, it doesn't get rid of her wrinkles. It's not like freaking Olay or something.
I was 1 hit away from being down.
Oh,
though.
what dang.
Yeah. I got you for 21 now total. So, listen, Mia heals when she needs to heal. All right. The cool thing about the pendant is it doesn't take an action. If I use healing hands that day, it takes an action. So what I can do is just charge it every day with my healing hands I don't use.
That's very poggers.
Very pog.
Claw of Luthic, last one. So, Shakara, Mia, and Apesarn can all make me a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh boy. Apesarn is not very charismatic.
That was a 10 with a +6.
15 minus 2 is 13.
And you're in my aura.
Oh, okay. What does that give me?
Okay, well,
again,
I
sorry?
have a 14 then.
+4. Yeah, I rolled a 2, so I have a
Oh, Miss Charisma.
18.
Okay. So you all very easily
You are
pass
so charismatic.
as this orc tries to bane the three of you. But no effects because you all passed. Shakara, you're up.
Gonna take a swipey at the... Who is that in front of me? The Tanarek in front of me. 26 to hit. 14 damage from my first hit.
Your first hit takes the last Tanric down, which does give you temporary hit points, I believe, right?
It does, yes, thank you. It gives me 8
Nice.
temporary hit points.
Killing people gives you temporary.
It does.
How does Mia get that?
Join the
You gotta
coven.
join a coven.
I gotta join a freaking coven. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay, so
Pass.
seeing, emboldened by the fact that I took him down, I swung at the last remaining red fang standing there, and I'm going to crit him.
Oh, wow, okay. He's very going to be dead, but let's see what your damage is.
So that would normally be 4d8 maxed out. I'm sorry, 6. 4d6 maxed out, so that's 24
Yeah.
plus another 4d6 rolled.
Oh, I may have spoke. This guy's barely been touched, so he might actually still be standing, but let's see what you do.
So I said 24, right? So 24 plus 20, so that's 44.
44.
And
Smite him?
he was looking pretty spry to begin with, so let's just go ahead and do a little smite. Let's do a little smite on that. Let's do just a little smite.
Which also gets credit.
So that would be 2d8, which is 16, plus another 8, which is 24. So 24 plus 44 is 68.
He's dead. He's very, very dead.
But Statman is happy.
Overkill.
All right, Statman's got the numbers now.
You basically one-hit kill this orc.
That is sick. Oh
Wow,
my God.
well done.
Too
well
bad
done.
temporary hit points don't stack.
Too bad, yeah, too bad. Ape Zarin. No more Tanaruks. It's just you. One remaining orc.
I will attack the last remaining enemy then, that's on the ground.
Get him.
I'm going to do a multi-attack with my fisticuffs. Well, we'll start with one attack. That's 24 to hit. Mm-hmm. That was a very good roll. 28.
Oh, wow, okay.
Bludgeoning damage.
You
Yeah.
splatter. I mean, you've turned this last remaining orc into one of the disease. It looks very similar, the effect, after your fist comes slamming down. It just explodes under your apely might. And overhead, you hear just more crossbow bolts being fired, and the two remaining bats get skewered out of the air, falling dead. And it does look like the paladins have mopped up and been able to hold fast against this onslaught, the enemies they were contending with, the last of them having been sorted with. And you see the wreckage, and there are, like I mentioned before, 2 Iron Cobras left, all 3 Stone Defenders, one of which looks severely damaged, and of course the 3 Oaken Bolters that were still attached to the sides of the tower. Those voices now, Also that combat there, it's almost like all you could hear. It was almost like it was the battle soundtrack of this fight, right? These disjointed voices, but they have quieted, and obviously there's far fewer of them now ringing out in the air.
How's everyone doing? Do you need more healing?
I am okay as long as nothing else is coming against us.
Yeah, same here. I sort of stagger up towards the others.
I look up at Ape Zarin and I walk up to him and like touch his large hand and say,
Muscles.
Yeah, his large muscles. Thank you, Falzarin. Thank you so much. I owe you.
Ape Zarin looks down and goes, oh, sort of pats her on the head gently as he's able to.
Mia like turns over her shoulder and she's like, I kind of like Falzarin like this.
Silas joins you all. He's just kind of like looking up at Ape Zarin. What are you? Everyone okay? Everyone accounted for? He's kind of looking around. It's like it looks like you're missing some people. Did you take casualties too?
No, we're okay. We're okay. We sent them on their horses. They'll come back. How are your troops, Silas?
We've lost about half our numbers stationed here. He kind of looks to Shkar. Well, I mean, it looks like we have those circlets now if you are still in need of them.
We can make use of them.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that now, Silas. How long until reinforcements come?
Well, we need to hold out until dawn, until the next shift comes, but clearly we may need to work more than just the 6 of us here. This was the largest attack we've seen since we've started construction.
Have all attacks looked like this one?
Different creatures, honestly, of all sorts. Yes, a lot of orcs, but what were those exploding ones? We've never seen some of these types before. Seems some type of clearly an escalation of. So I don't know what.
There's evolving warfare with the Neogi for sure.
I hate to ask this of you, and I understand if you can't, but can you stay here the night until the next shift arrives?
Can we not send for the next shift to come earlier?
If you want to send a runner, but again, until they arrive, like, can you at least stay with us? Is that even a possibility?
Who here needs healing? I can heal, Silas. I am a healer from way back.
I mean, that's much appreciated. I don't suppose any of you are any good with machines, with constructs. A few of them could be patched up too, but we don't have the know-how.
I'm okay with taking a rest if everybody else is. Let's just hope nothing else comes tonight.
Has anyone explored where these armies are coming from?
Oh, I mean, they're coming from the mountains, somewhere in the mountains. But we don't have the numbers to send any type of search party out. I don't imagine especially this last attack. The tracks would be very hard to follow, I guess. But we just don't have the people.
Yes. Tonight, let's rest. We'll help aid you in the guard, and we'll heal our wounds. I can go around and I can heal everyone. Do what we can, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Where are Dreg, Mullen, and Hulsa? Are they gone?
They are no longer in sight.
I can send a message to them.
Yes, that is what I was thinking.
Yes, okay. I'll send a message, 25 words or under, to Dreg and tell him everything's fine and we're gonna help guard the tower tonight to come back.
Tell Dreg to search for the reinforcements.
Yeah, but like where? I don't know that I would say that.
Captain Grohl, where are the other paladins?
Like I said, most of us are at the Tickly Servant. It's going to be your best bet.
Is that in town?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Tell Dreg to go to the Tickly Servant.
Okay.
To tell the paladins to come here. We need reinforcements.
I'll send the message to Dreg. Him, Mullen, and Hulsa can go to the Tickly Servant, tell them about the attack, and we can get reinforcements here overnight. Sound good?
Yes.
Shaft and Shakara, you both recognize. You can tell again, looking at what's left of the constructs here. The two Iron Cobras that both of you had interacted with are not the two that survived.
Okay.
Silas continues. Again, thank you. I'll get those circlets, I guess. We'll grab our dead and give him a burial.
Falzarin, gather the dead and dig the burial graves, because you're an ape. I mean, it'd be easier for you.
I could help gather the dead, I suppose.
That would be helpful, yes.
I'm feeling really weak, Falzarin. Please, if you can help.
Okay, so Falzarin will sort of nod, or Ape Zarin, I should say, will sort of nod, and we'll go over to help with the surviving paladins to gather up their dead.
Okay. The battlefield is just littered with bodies and pieces of the construct. Some of them have just literally been like almost as if they just completely disassembled. Like someone's taken like a bludgeoned weapon to them and pieces lying about all over.
I look back up at Ape Zarin and I say again, Falzarin, thank you so much. I owe you my life. And I just keep moving. But me is feeling mortal tonight, that's for sure.
Ape Zarin sort of just nods wordlessly.
She's not feeling very celestial right now.
Shaft,
Yeah.
Nina is dead. She was dead before this. That was not her in the construct. Not as you knew her.
What do you mean she's dead?
Isabella looked into it when you asked her. She told me. She's dead.
How?
That I do not know.
Well, I'll have to see this for myself. But thanks.
I'll walk
And
away
I
from
turn and walk away the other way.
Silas yells over to the two remaining paladins. Lance, Hannigan, gather up the supplies. We need to figure out some way to fortify this now we're down these constructs. And you see the two of them they head off around to the back of the tower, which you guys actually haven't really seen yet because you've mostly been into it and then in front of it. But they kind of disappear around the this diameter of the tower.
Okay, I think I'd like to walk up to the snake construct that I was speaking to earlier with hearing Nina's voice and sort of just investigate that a little bit and see if there's any clues.
Just you? Just Shaft?
I would like to talk to Captain Grohl.
Okay.
And I guess, I don't know how long it would take Ape Zarin to help clear the battlefield here, but I guess I would continue doing that until I feel like we've mostly accomplished that.
Now, Ape Zarin, are you going to just be retrieving the three dead paladins of Cultus, or are you going to be doing something with the orc bodies? Because I mean, like the battlefield's like littered with bodies, right, and pieces of metal from the destroyed constructs. So it's up to you whether or not you think it would be useful to do anything with them.
Yeah, he might grab a couple of them by the legs and kind of like smash them together in front of his chest.
Okay.
Oh my
No.
god.
Completely destroying any remains of a tattoo or any evidence of Neogi activity.
No, I think
Wise idea.
I think I would prioritize looking after the fallen paladins and guards and that sort of thing. But I don't know. I think I would probably just leave the rest of them where they are.
Okay, and you see like Silas kind of motions over you and basically points in the direction that Lance and Hannigan had went off around to the back of tower, kind of indicating, well, if you could put them here, kind of thing, as opposed to just leaving them out in the battlefield. So yeah, and he definitely seems appreciative of your efforts as well.
And then as soon as I'm done that, I will have a bit of a listen to see if I hear any more enemies coming off in the distance, and if I don't, then I'll dismiss this polymorph spell and shrink back down to my wizardly self.
For the time being, it seems clear, and the night has grown quiet. Still, the bit of rain soft sprinkle of rain that had kind of set in as the battle was starting. So currently you're not in any danger.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that would be beneficial to do as Apezarin. There's nothing like destroyed that I could help fix or anything heavy.
I guess it would depend if you wanted to round up some of the parts of the constructs. If you wanted to retrieve those, Silas had already mentioned though that none of them specifically have the expertise to do anything and try to mend the constructs at all.
Okay.
So as far as putting some of them back together, with who's here on hand, that's not going to happen.
I would probably guess that they have some value though, right? Like whatever, if there's large portions of them that are still intact, like to bring them back and maybe someone can fix them in the future.
Sure. Okay. And that is to say that just because these paladins don't have any idea what they're doing, it's not stopping any of, the four of you trying your own hand if you think you might be good at it. That's definitely something you could try as well if you wanted to. No one's stopping you from doing it, at least, right?
Somebody get Apezarin a big branch and he's going to fix them.
I find it hard to believe you can think smart enough to collect the stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, he does have some intelligence, but he certainly, I think, would be...
He's like, ooh, shiny rocks.
Yes.
You should probably leave him be for Alstar Tenderman's insurance company to come and investigate before he pays off.
Yes, you will need an adjuster to come out before you shouldn't touch anything, leave everything where it fell, don't move the cars or anything like that.
The Iron Cobra
Insurance
fraud
adjuster.
is, yeah.
It's Tenderman's side racket. That's why Dreg hates him so much. It's a bad insurance policy.
All right, so I'll just keep busy with that while the others are doing what they're doing.
Okay, and as you're pulling the bodies over to the back of the tower, Apesar, and you see Lanza Hannigan and Silas he's not moving the equipment that they are, but he's there kind of overseeing. And you see Lanza Hannigan, they're pulling out like supply bags, and around the back of this tower, there's actually kind of a set of scaffolding that runs up the back of it. It looks very narrow, looks pretty precarious. It actually doesn't even go all the way to the top of the tower here. It seems that, they use it to a point and then maybe it was abandoned or just has not been taken down yet. So it seems like you could climb it if you wanted, but it's not serving any function currently. So I guess you could help them move some of the equipment if you wanted as well.
Yeah, might as well make use of my strength while I've got it.
Okay, cool. And Silas kind of he bends down and he covers the deceased paladins with a blanket or an old bedroll kind of thing, covering them up. And Shakara, you want to speak to Silas?
First, should we burn the orc bodies? I know there is no black ooze here, but there still are spells that could be used. Would it not be safer to dispose of them?
I'm not opposed to it.
Falzarin, why don't you pile them up for us?
So I look over to Shakara and over to Silas and kind of nod my head and make my way over to start piling the fallen enemies.
Captain Grohl, I am sorry for your loss, but those circlets, may I have them?
Yeah, of course. And you see, kind of gingerly lifts up the death shrouds he's laid over these bodies and pull off their circlets to gather them up, and he hands them to you, Shakara.
Thank you. I assure you, they will be very appreciated.
Well, they're not doing anything on the bodies, so if they can be put to use, I think it's better that they do so.
Agreed.
Silas, what's the protocol when you kill the orcs like this? Is it to burn them?
Well, I mean, we've been burying them when we had the chance, but it's never been this many before. Like I said, obviously, burning 24 bodies is going to be a hell of a lot more efficient than trying to dig holes for all of them.
Yeah, I agree.
We owe them no respect.
Well, quite frankly, they don't always stick around to the end, if you know what I mean. Like, usually it's good enough for us to flash a bit of steel and they scamper off without much of an engagement, to be honest.
Oh, I see.
Yes, usually once a mind-controlled being is attacked, they come out of the mind control. These did not seem to.
Well, I'm not sure I know anything about that. What could affect that then?
I fear the Nyogi are getting stronger.
I mean, I hope it's not. I hope these, he points to a circlet, gives it a little tap. I hope these things are still going to work then.
As do I.
Shikara, I think you're right. Oh, and I can't stop thinking about my parents. Like, what am I gonna do? The town of Barrack, like, I'm supposed to be protecting them.
Mayhaps once we find that amulet and do what we need to do here, we can go check on Barrack.
Yeah, I would like that. And I mean, I want our friends to be healed too. This has just been crazy. Like, Shikara, I almost died.
Yes. This entire war has taken a great toll on all of us.
Are you scared?
No. I have power. I can change what happens.
I always thought that way, but look at what they're fighting us with.
Look what we did. Look what we took out. There is no stopping the four of us.
There's a lot more of them coming, I'm sure.
For now. Once Samuel has the amulet and the armor, he will decimate them.
I hope so. I feel like I've lost my faith. Barrack being hit and everything, it's just like, I can't. My parents are so strong and they've been overcome.
The Nyogi do not fight with strength. They are sneaky and underhanded, but can be destroyed.
I hope you're right.
Shaft. Within earshot, so it's not like you're not going to be privy to what's kind of happening over here, right? Because you're only about maybe 30 or 40 feet away from the base of the tower to find the specific iron cobra from which Nina's voice was originating.
Yeah, so I'm listening to their exchange and look up every once in a while, but my attention's basically on this iron cobra to sort of see what I can find out and if there's any indication of how this link was back to Nina.
Okay. So rooting around the wreckage, you're pulling away plates of dented and shorn metals. You uncover a type of, like a cavity, a hollowed out section at the base of the cobra's flared metallic hood. No more than about 6 inches in diameter. And because of the damage sustained to the cobra, it's as soon as you lift up a piece of it's exposed and it's open, right? It's as if if it was a container, the lid had been shorn off of it, right? Loosely suspended in the middle of the cavity is a pouch, slightly larger than a coin purse. Yellowed stitching forms this kind of haphazard trail across uniquely shaped strips of leather. Like they're not uniformly cut off of what would be a larger piece of whatever skin animal or this leather is from, right? A series of thin black tubules connect the bag to the inside of this cavity, and these are what is keeping the bag suspended. Could you roll me an investigation check, please?
He's not close to me, right? For guidance or anything?
No.
That is an 11.
Or help? That's apparently an action, right?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, what's that again?
You find kind of around I guess what is now the bottom, as this cobra is kind of face down, right, for you to be looking at this cavity that would be on its back, really, right, if it was upright and walking around. You find what looked like tiny metal shavings along the inside of the hollow portion, as if something had been bored into the surrounding metal. And the tubules, they clearly disappear into the metal like housing like through the sides of the cavity.
So is this? Am I to think of this as some kind of like a brain type of thing held, suspended inside of it with these veins coming out of it, kind of thing, or?
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. I mean, these tubules look quite familiar. You've certainly seen Isabella utilize something very similar to these. Now, these, though, are much, much finer and like far more narrow. Think of it like the difference between a garden hose versus a straw, as far as what you saw Isabella use with the flesh golems and her podium, right, and funneling the energy through. But here, again, much more finely crafted, almost, it looks like, material. And they're not like entirely rigid. I suppose it would any additional information I give you will depend on whether or not you are attempting to touch this thing or manipulate it in any way.
It's shaft and a bunch of tubules.
This looks like an aftermarket thing, right? So, you had Alstoff put this together, and then someone else came in. Was the plate that covered where this brain type thing, was it look like it was manufactured into the Cobra, or was it look like it was put on afterwards?
It does look like the cavity itself is part of the design. And in fact, I do believe Shakara and or Mia did take some blueprints from Alstoff's place and should have them.
Okay, I don't think I'm aware of that. So these things that are attached, they look like I could cut them off with a dagger, or do they look more metal like?
They don't really look metallic, especially in juxtaposition to the actual metal of the housing that they clearly go through. So potentially you would be able to sever them.
Do I hear anything, or is there any movement, or does it just seem like it's a broken piece of equipment?
There's no longer Nina's voice. So you don't hear anything. The bag itself, though, it's not full. It almost it's kind of looks like as if some of its remnants have been like emptied. Like if you imagine if you were holding a bag of sand, and you pricked a little hole in the bottom of it, and the sand starts to dwindle out as the sides of the bag kind of start to depress, right, and fall in on each other. That's kind of what it looks like has happened to this, whatever this bag is.
Do I see any like liquid or anything that would have drained out of this bag? Any remnants of that?
Nothing like that, no.
Okay, I'm going to take one of my daggers, a dagger in each hand. I'm going to poke at the sack with one dagger and see if anything happens, if it moves or anything.
Okay, like just prodding the sack itself.
Yeah, just prod the sack.
Yeah, it reacts as if you would, a normal leather like coin purse would, right? Like it gives to the point of the dagger, but nothing is like exuded from it, or again, no noise comes out of it or anything like that.
Nothing leaks out of it as I move it around.
Are you trying to put a hole in this bag?
Not yet. I'm just sort of moving it around, poking at it.
So, as you're manipulating the bag, right? Yes. So nothing appears to leak out of it or anything, but it you move it a couple inches to the right, and the suspended tubules on your left become taut, right? Like you're hitting the end of whatever give it would have in this suspension. It never moves far enough where it would hit the side of the actual cavity. It always seems like there's like this loose suspension, almost like this gyroscopic kind of system, right? So there's not much give, but there is definitely sway. Probably you could put together like enough sway, whereas if this thing was moving around, it would serve as some type of pseudo protection or cushioning for the bag itself.
All right, I'm going to take out one of my small empty sacks and sort of wrap it around my hand, put my hand up underneath of it, and give it like a multiple vasectomy as I go around the outside and cut all the cords.
Okay.
Not touching it with my skin or my gloves, but resting it in the other sack.
Okay. There are about 5 of these tubules kind of sticking out of the bag itself, and as you clip them, they're malleable, right? They're not rigid against your dagger. And every time you cut one, a tiny like a wisp of white, like almost like vapor or steam or something like just the faintest hint of it escapes from the severed tubule, from specifically the end that is still connected to the bag.
Okay, I think as I do that, nothing pours out other than this gas, right?
That's right.
As soon as I cut the first one and the gas starts to escape, I think I'd drop my dagger, pinch it with my finger to stop it, like a artery that's bleeding, right? And then tie it off, and then do the same with the others.
Okay, you can absolutely do that. Can you also roll me a history check, please?
Apparently I forgot something. Apparently I don't remember. 5.
Okay, this phenomenon is familiar, but still very strange to you.
Okay.
Would I see him doing this?
I think he's far enough away where clearly see he is bent over doing something, but from the separation of the distance, you can't tell exactly what he's doing over there. And again, this is kind of occurring throughout this conversation that took place.
Yeah, I didn't call anybody over.
Shaft is bent over and manscaping a sack. It's what's happening right now.
I got all kinds of talents. Okay, so yeah, I think I'd like to, and then once I get it all cut, just sort of wrap the bag around it, shut it up, and put it in my other pouch. So it's triple sacked.
There's so many pouches and sack. What are we? I'm gonna take my bag and wrap it around the sack and then put it in my pouch.
The title of this episode is Sackception, I'm telling you.
The episode where Shaft manscapes for 15 minutes.
That's right. Anything else on the broken pieces or anything that draws any interest to me?
No, I don't think so. Again, there's those subtle differences in some of the wreckage between the Cobras themselves. Do you want to look at maybe another one of the Cobras or any of the other broken constructs at all?
Yeah, I think I'd go over and see if the other one was very similar. If I can open the back up and see inside, see if there's a sack in there too.
Okay. Ape Zarin, were you going to start stacking the orc bodies immediately, or will you continue pulling off construct wreckage?
He monkey, he don't know.
I would probably sort of more or less do what I was told by the humans who are smarter than me. So
last in, first done. So stacking orc bodies then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So I think as Shaft, you're moving on to inspect like another Cobra specifically. Sorry, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of about the timing where the end of Shakara and Mia's exchange is completed, and Shaft is moving on to another construct. So you know where to look for this Cobra, and you see obviously like throughout the battle, the damage to each of these is not going to be uniform, of course. So this one you can find the metal panel, for lack of a better term. Again, remember the Cobras specifically are like layered sections of metal, like scales, kind of, right? But you find the one that you would need to pry up and pop off, basically, to find exactly what I described to you from Nina's Cobra, the same sack suspended by these black tubules within this 6-inch diameter housing.
Were we ever in a conversation where Mia and Shakara stated that they were in Tinderman's place, that I would know that they were there?
I think we showed them
so.
Blueprints.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall. Okay, so I'm going to go under the assumption that I know something about that. All right, so as I pry off the next cover plate and see that it's very similar, I'm going to look back over at Shakara and Mia as they finish their conversation. I go, "Hey, come take a look at this.
I will walk over to him.
Okay.
You got that paper Tinnerman had. Maybe we could figure out how this thing ticks."
I will rummage through my sack and find the appropriate paper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Shakara has it.
Oh, you know what? That's my mistake, misreading my own notes. What you took, the only schematics that you took, Shakara, were the schematics of the armor specifically. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
So I wad this up and I throw it and I go, "That's useless!"
We did look at the snake, we just didn't take it with us, right?
Yes. So okay, I'll give you some checks. I'll give Shakara and Mia, you can each roll me. I'll let you choose. You can roll me a history, or if you would like to make a case for another skill that you think might be more better applied here, but
acrobatics.
I'm gonna look at Shakara and hold out my hand and be like, "High five for guidance." Okay, I give her guidance. See if she can remember.
And what does guidance do again?
It gives you a D4 to your ability check roll.
Let's see. Can I intimidate the knowledge out of myself?
Well, if not, I can guidance myself.
Yeah, I only have a +1 to history.
Yeah, same. We're not the smartest of soldiers.
We just don't pay that much attention. We have other things going on.
I'll guide myself. Oh no, this is a concentration for a minute, so quick, do yours first.
Look, with all these sacks flying around, I would get
14.
all frazzled too. Okay, a 14.
Been a while since Mia had a good sack.
I think a 14 is enough to recall. I think a 14 is enough to recall this housing, and really the only reason that you recognize the cavity within the construct is because across all of the schematics that you looked at for all of the different types of constructs, that's like the one thing that was uniform across all the types, right? This section or this hollowed out section for some type of power source. Because again, you all know that Tinnerman is not the one that provides a power source. But, he's an expert in his craft and he's going to make something to be powered. So there's got to be somewhere to put the batteries in. Otherwise, otherwise he really is a crook. He really is scamming.
Yes, Shaft, I believe these cavities are in every construct that Tinnerman has made.
Do you have any idea how this thing works? And I sort of poke at the sack.
No, that was not part of the blueprints we saw.
Right, he doesn't really supply the life force for his creations, from what we know.
Leland, what color is the sack, the actual leather?
Blue.
It is. It's not blue. It's
the
like.
Blue sack.
I mean, it's like a dirty kind of pale brown.
Human skin colored?
Well, give me a medicine check.
Wait, are we looking at real balls here?
Give me a color wheel check.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
Oh, wow.
This does appear to be human flesh or some type of humanoid's flesh.
Is it balls?
It would
Quick,
be pretty
Mia,
big.
cuddle this thing.
It would
It's
be
not
pretty
hairy.
big for balls.
Okay, well, like,
oh my
this
God.
whole time you're trying not to say hole, so you keep saying cavity. It's just like...
It really does sound like the testy in the scrotum, I suppose. I didn't really think of it when I was...
It's
Yeah, your mistake, right?
That was my mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, listener. I'm taking that one on the chin.
You
But
brought
I'm
this to the table, and you knew who you were dealing with.
It's like a gimbal. Like, so it doesn't move. Oh my gosh. Shakara, did you say... What?
Have you noticed what the leather resembles
It looks like
skin.
skin. Yeah.
Uh,
I'll look over and see if Ape Zaren's still carrying stuff, and I'll go, "Hey, Falzarin, come here.
Huh?
Now, we need you to be a little more intelligent. Come here."
no, I like the monkey.
He can come back anytime he wants.
Ugh, I don't want Falzarin back.
Wow, harsh. All right, so
Desperate times.
Ape Saren sort of drops what he's working on, and or hauling.
Literally drops an orc.
Yeah. Squish. And dismisses Polymorph. So he shrinks back down to Falzarin, and I will walk over to see what Shaft is looking at.
When he gets there, I'm going to go, I'm going to grab one of the little tubes that's connected and go, "This remind you of anything? You know, they were a little bigger, but you know what I'm talking about? The flesh columns."
Yes, I do think I know what you're talking about. What is this thing? Has it moved? Is it doing anything?
Well, they're filled with some kind of gas or something. I'm sure it's something magical in that flesh column book. Would that give you any indication as to what this might be?
You have a book on these monsters?
It may have. It's perhaps a
Maybe you could do a history check.
perhaps a shame that I don't still have it. Yeah, do you think there's anything that Falzarin might know about this, Leland? Is it worth making me a check of some sort?
If you would like to do an Arcana check, you absolutely can. And yes, given your experience, I'll let you roll it with advantage.
Okay.
Do you need guidance?
Well, it's a bit late now, ain't it?
It's my word of the day.
Okay, I got a 16.
Okay. Does your check also involve any type of inspection? Like, what exactly are you doing as you are inspecting this bag, this suspended pouch?
Is it safe to touch?
Cough. That's what he's saying. Cough.
No, cough twice, please.
Everything seems all right here.
Turn your head and cough.
See you in 6 months.
Is it safe? Is it safe? Has anyone touched it?
Yeah, it's just sort of, I don't know, fleshy feeling. It doesn't do anything. It just sort of...
It doesn't respond to any
there.
sort of stimulation.
I don't know, rub it.
I'll say.
Do we have enough for tonight?
We're gonna call it real quick, but let's get this
Again. It doesn't respond to any sort of stimulation, or have you poked and prodded it?
Yeah, I think it was driving the thing. I think it's either magically or some odd type of power source, but it seems to be dead now.
Now, Shaft, Nina's voice was being emitted by one of these machines. Is it possible that, perhaps some sort of life essence is inside these things?
Well, it's possible, I suppose, but let's hope it was just something that's being transferred from somewhere else, or just being played back in some way.
Yes, let's hope. So I will reach out and touch it, I guess. I don't know. See what happens. See if anything happens when I, touch it, squeeze it, prod it.
I'm gonna watch closely while he does this.
Okay, so there's no more severing of any of the tubules or anything like that.
Well, I don't know that Shaft has done that, right? So
Right.
I don't know that I would leap to doing that just yet.
So with your 16, it is entirely clear that there is some type of life essence captured in this bag, and it was the magical source power source for these constructs.
If we cut open the bag, what happens to the being inside?
I think we might let it escape. If you're going to cut it, I suggest we somehow contain it first.
To what end?
Well, if it is a life essence, like Falzarin believes, then we could deliver it to whoever's essence has been taken out of and hopefully restore them.
If the body still exists.
There's a lot of ifs.
I like the idea of containing it, but don't we have enough voices in his bag of holding already?
You
Put this one in shafts.
You would so blatantly let one soul escape.
No, I'm saying we shouldn't let it escape, but I mean, we don't need like a whole collection. Like, why does it have to be us?
Look, I took the one out of that had Nina's essence in it, I believe. I have it.
Oh.
And if, Shakara, if you believe that, Isabella told you that Nina's dead, that if her body still exists, maybe this will bring her back.
Does it have to be her body, or can it be any body?
Well, I'd prefer it to be her body.
You could have an upgrade, Shaft. You never
You
know.
haven't seen her yet.
Oh. Okay. Fair enough.
Now, Falzarin's familiar with the spell Soul Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Would he think that it could have been used in this instance? Like, would this perhaps be something you could accomplish with that spell?
Falzarin, you definitely know that whatever this bag is clearly different than it's distinctly different, but similar to that spell. But that specific spell definitely was not utilized in the creation of this new item. As with the spell Soul Cage, it's not really transforming the soul into anything. It literally is just putting it in a cage and then manipulating it in some way. Whereas clearly some type of additional step has been taken to fit these bags and make them work with the cobras. Now, whether or not that is just simply something as simple as the use of these specific tubules, which are still a bit of a mystery, that could just be the explanation, but it's definitely something else in addition has occurred here.
I'll look over at Falzer and I'll go, look, you know, last we saw Nina, last I saw her, she was mad with disease and Victure. Apparently, Samuel and Isabella, I'll look over at Shakara when I say Isabella, are using people to power these constructs. Now, however you feel about that is your own business.
That is Jessica's business.
Yeah, but I look over at Falzer and I go, Isabella did the same thing to him. Or to the constructs that she was creating. These are all linked.
I am not saying Isabella is innocent.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying this is what's happening here, so...
Alright, so we add Jessica to a list of people I'm gonna kill.
I just look at Mia. Don't say anything.
I smile back.
I don't know what's worse, to leave these things as is or open them up and let whatever's inside out. I just don't know. I don't fully understand this magic.
Are we prolonging their agony? Would it not be better to release them?
I do worry that might be the case. I don't know. But Shaft has a point as well. If there's any possibility of saving them.
How can the essence of someone feel pain if it's agony that you're concerned about? I'm more concerned about the fact that they're lost. Their loved ones have no idea where they've been, right, Shaft? You didn't know where Nina was.
Until I find out what this is, I'm keeping the other one right here by my side.
That is your business.
I tap my sack. I tap my bag.
It's actually
We were doing so well.
a sack within a bag within a pouch right now.
Yes.
Okay, you clearly specified that.
Please try to keep it straight.
I guess, Shakara, my point is, we don't think I don't think they're in pain or agony or anguish. They're just being mindlessly controlled. I'm not saying that it's right. This is wrong.
They were somewhat aware. There was an awareness to them.
There was an awareness, yes.
If you think about it, it's not much different than what the Yogi are doing.
It's true. Perhaps there can be another body for these souls. What should we do? Should we have... Wait, the paladins are gonna wanna... They're not gonna like us taking these souls.
I think you're right, Mia. I mean, they may perceive this as us stealing from them.
I don't think these guys here at the tower have any idea what's going on here.
It's true.
Well, Shaft, you say you've secured the one that perhaps has Nina or part of her or memory of her. I don't know what it is, but you have the one that came from Nina. Do we know? We don't recognize any of the other voices. Perhaps we just leave the rest, such as it is.
Fine by me.
I don't want to leave them forever. I just think maybe if we leave them alone right now, when Samuel comes, there won't be fingers pointed at us.
Right.
I think the guards would know we did it.
Best not to mention anything.
It's true.
I agree.
Take Nina. Don't say anything. We'll come back for the others. We can do it.
Can we replace part of the machinery to cover up the spot where Nina came from?
The hole the sack came from?
Nina's sack. And you wanted to say Nina's sack. I know you did.
I didn't want to say it, but I was tempted to.
I'll walk over to the other construct where that came from. Can I find the plate that covered it?
Yeah, for sure. It is a little warped and bent as it had come off in a fight, but you find it.
I'll sort of jab it in there, look like it's been damaged from the fight, and then, move on from there. There, done.
All right. So, I guess we wait?
I wouldn't mind taking a little short rest here.
Yes, I agree. I think they could use whatever help we can offer in case there happens to be more that come upon them.
Wow. Can you believe what just happened? Oh my gosh. Things are just getting crazy. You can visit us at incorrigibleparty.com for additional world NPC information to get all your Incorrigible Party merchandise. Join us on our Discord, linked on our website. Recently, the Incorrigible Party has started streaming on Twitch. Do you want to watch video games, board games, interact with us, catch us on live after-party recordings, follow us on Twitch at Incorrigible Party. If for some reason, probably because you're incorrigible, like us, you can't get enough of our content, please support us on Patreon. Our Patreon gives you early releases to episodes, extra inspiration to give your favorite hero, Mia, wink wink, or the DM, I suppose. Patreon exclusive content includes Patreon exclusive mini campaigns. This podcast is sponsored by Critical Hit Design at criticalhitdesign.com. Thanks to Tabletop Audio for allowing us to use any ambient sounds or music during our show. And our intro and outro is by Josh Jarvis. Contact him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com for any inquiries. Happy adventuring!